Okay, here we are. We've got Unhappy King Charles. This one from Phalanx. The GMT edition's been gone and out for a long time. Oh, let me check. Board Game Geek. Unhappy King Charles. The original game was quite good and really fun. Okay. It was published in 2008, and this one just came. Whoop, there's my fingers, very sorry. So, look at this, it's great. Recounting the sad events of the late, unparalleled rebellion. This is just fun humor, too, as recorded by that most honest and accurate witness, Charles Vasey. Set in goodly form by Donhall Hegarty. Published at the Assigns of Phalanx and Company, sold by all good purveyors of such truths, anno 2024. Let's open this guy up, and we'll see what has happened. Now, the original was a real typical classic card-driven game from GMT. Actually, look at. So you get, here's the GMT version. I'll pop some images in place so you can get a sense of the old game. Interestingly, this is titled Board Picture Just Map But Larger, right? And then you have some various tables, and then the cards that, really were quite fun. Really excellent, how to put it, history, embedded in the cards, and just operations, events, and so on. There's a little set there of the game. Counters, representing, of course, the various units, and there's an example of it in play. So you get a sense of the old version. Okay, so here is Unhappy King Charles. Cool. Okay, so first off, here's a playbook. Okay, so instructions of generalship. All right, so this guy is, okay, so certain play notes, a summary. We have a little short history of the rebellion. Looks like there is, right, you're tying the history to the times presented in the game as it proceeds. See, turn 2 is listed here and so on. Play notes by Charles Vasey. He's the game's author. So you get all sorts of nice input, right? Then you have some others who have offered their own insights on the game. Then you see, just for the full fleshing out of things, the history attached to all of the various cards in the game. And then we get a playthrough, right? Really great art. I haven't heard about any errata yet. Of course, this is brand new, so now that it's in the wild, we might start finding, human error. I'll chalk up to 1% of things happening, right? Designer's notes. A little bit of a note on combat, moving and fighting, recruiting, and so on. So that's really cool. And here's something interesting. Let's see. This is a second. All right, so I have a second copy of that same playbook, right? Put that in there. And here we go, Book of Rules for how to be true and exact in relations of the war upon the commons, right? Real nice, full color again. It might not show very well in the video, but this is sort of a parchment color. It's kind of yellowed a little bit, right? Okay, so then you have 2-column. Pretty good font. Looks like a little larger font on the headers here. Right, red colors for the section identifiers. See, setting and game. Oh, very nice. Really cool page. So this is the board, how you set everything up. Very nice. Okay, then it's nice to see how to win early on. A little bit of housekeeping stuff. All right, and basically, look, walk through these rules and learn how to play the game. Very good graphics showing examples. Let's see. In the rules book, people like to hear about this. They're like, okay, so how big is this rules book? Oh, nice. We have an index. So you're at 39 pages. Once you hit the index and credits, there's a glossary at page 37. You can see some strategy card effect summaries here at pages 34 to 36. Right, so solo play mode is back here. Right, and so you have option rules. Section 25 starts on page 31. So core 30 pages long, but lots of examples, a lot of white space. So I don't think it's overwhelming at that page count. Okay, what do we get here? All right, so this is the Royalist solo board. Cool. So the solo system has you, placing cards on these boards. Here's the Parliament solo board. Ooh, fun. You could probably have a solo Parliament versus a solo Royalist. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, that'd be fun to try out. Okay. Here's a Parliament player board. Gives you some information on brigade recruitment and then some holding boxes. This guy would be the Royalist, very similar. Recruiting information again, and holding boxes, list of the cards played in a turn. All right, what's this we got? Let's see. Okay, so here's the Parliament player aid. Just pretty good and square. Lots of summaries for us. Very nice. And notice everything here is in red, Parliament color, shall we call it. And then over here we have the Royalist play aid, again, summaries for the players. And this one with all of these colored text and lines in blue. Awesome. All right, here's the map. Let's pull that aside just for a moment. Double check the counters. We have sheet number 1. Okay, notice it's punched, so there's no counter clipping required. So we got some interesting shapes there. And then standee general markers. Okay, sheet 2. Pretty similar punch style. Everything looks lined up pretty well. The nibs are on, looks like the nibs are on the tops and the bottoms here, right? Okay, then sheet 3. They're all the same board, punch board design, right? So you do see some missing items here and there as they organize. Here's sheet 4. All right, and sheet 5. And to note, right, control markers flip. Very cool. All right, so pretty nifty, beautiful sort of paint jobs there. Period paint jobs, period pictures, right? Very cool. Got some storage bags. I tend to flip back and forth between bags, and of course, this style. Not sure how many I'll need. Probably 1, maybe 2 of those GMT storage trays. All right, so we got these little standee plastic gizmos, right? So that the generals stand up on the map. All right, so yeah, 1 set of cards for the various generals and leaders, right? Godly gentlemen being the various notables, grandees, and generals, subjects of the most righteous parliament. So you can see about half this deck, a little more than half, right? Parliament. And then the loyalist, royalist types on the other half, give or take. And then the engine of the game, right? The cards. Maybe I should open these, huh? Let's see. trying to figure out if I have a tiny knife. This is actually opening just fine. I always wonder about YouTuber, especially gamers, who get themselves a good contraption to hold their camera. You know, Callendale is always walking around with his camera, and I wonder if he has it attached to a headband or something like that. And then, you know, some people will hoist the camera and connect it up above, that kind of thing. All right, so let's just take a gander at a couple of these cards. Oh yeah, very nice. Okay. Add 2 to your battle score. Counts towards 6 for cards this turn. Okay, so alrightas. Let's see what else we got here. Parliament aids the Irish settlers. Okay. So of note, you've got a drum. Let's see if I can pull that off, right? You have a drum there in the 2 colors on the first card I pulled on the writers, and then here the Parliament gets this red, right, drum. Let's see about, so you have some events, right, that both players can use, and you have some events that only one side is able to use. All right, so cool. Very nice cards. You can see a slight difference in the margin, right, the framing around the card too, right? I'm just grabbing these sort of at random now. Here's a card that playable by both again, and then you show, right, you can see, depending on who you are in the game, what you can use that card for. Aha, very cool, right? Minor campaign. So in a lot of ways, if you remember the original We the People, this game has some inspiration from We the People. And Charles Macy had another English Civil War game as published by Clash of Arms Games. I think he mentions that he wasn't really quite happy with that game. The inspiration for mechanics of that game generally was, I think, the old Frank Chadwick game. What was that? A Civil War game. Point to point. Pretty simple. I think Chadwick probably designed it as a kind of campaign backdrop to some miniatures gamers kinds of approaches to things. And that was in its first iteration GDW, but I think Mayfair published that old Frank Chadwick design. Somebody in the comments could remember the Clash of Arms game, the King's War, or something like that, you know, the English Civil War. I liked that game a lot. Wow, it could stretch out and be long, though. Very, very long. So, Mr. Vasey Esquire has come back to this interesting conflict. I wish I knew more and more about it. I've only done like really tactical things in wargaming, not miniatures, but generally. Shoot, what am I thinking of? Oh yeah, Ben Hull's stuff, you know. The Musket and Pike Battles series started off with the English Civil War battles there. See if I can get stuff back in here. I'm going to create some space for us so that we get a gander at the map. Really, it's kind of glossy for the booklets. Let's move this box out of my way briefly. And, well, we'll open up some part of the map. I don't have a lot of room here, so we can do a little bit. Oh, but it's pretty big. That's cool. All right, you got a power-based track there, siege track. You know, it has a kind of, what would you call it? You know, a little bit of the flavor of the era with the drawing. Got like a fortress wall here on Plymouth, more like a town. design here for Exeter. Looks like a simple fort here for Lyme. See, so you see the simple fort style at times. And you have these little town designs. Here's looks like a little bit, maybe that's a medium fortress. I forget. You know, it's been so long. These are the major fortress. Oh, I might be able to fit this game. Let's see what it looks like. Wow, it's off the table that way, but that's okay. Very cool, very large. Very nice. Okay. Naval status, turn record track. There's London. Definitely major fortress, right? I'm Scottish, so I always like seeing what's up here in the north. Right, so you got that border up there. Carlisle and Berwick, Newcastle, Scarborough, Hull. Okay. I don't sound Scottish, do I? I'm only like a quarter Scottish. Pretty cool. So that is the first look, we'll call it, at Unhappy King Charles. It's from Phalanx Games. I just got it. A lot of people have been waiting. Quite a bit of time has passed from announcements to shipping. Once the shipping got going, it really felt to me like things unfolded very, very fast. Wonderful to get this. I hope some people will crack it open and start playing, getting some AARs in place. And if I get time, and I have so many games, I have way too many games, of course, that I'm trying to work on and work through. I I get inspiration, and I try to, as a designer, steal from great games if needed. But right now I'm in that mode of I got to simplify mechanics in a game that's meant for families, and that's a game that Pints with Aquinas and I are working on together. So, Unhappy King Charles, all is good. Greetings to you all, and have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a wonderful Happy New Year.